So, for some people, notably people of the larger variety, trips like this are also an excuse to indulge in the cuisine of the area. So for GenCon in particular, that comes in
Food Truck Central.
basically, I divide it up into like three main components. There are, as Chad mentioned, the food trucks. There are the local restaurants to downtown Indianapolis, which include a number of high-end steakhouses, which we don't normally go to, except for one, which I'll get to in a moment. And the food court in the mall of the Circle Center Mall. So, now, that is your cheap but dependable option. But we'll focus on the food trucks first. The food trucks offer enormous variety. I mentioned Georgia Street earlier. That's a street in downtown Indianapolis. They close it down for at least a block, and the food trucks park along there. They go in 3 different shifts: the breakfast food trucks, the lunch food trucks, and dinner food trucks. Usually within a few weeks of the show, they have a schedule put up so you can see who all's coming. Every year, I keep telling myself I'm going to write down the food trucks I like, and I never do.
And also on that street, Hot Box Pizza will have a stand.
Yes.
The Noodle restaurant, I can remember the name too.
Yeah.
We went to them one year.
They're
We
delicious
lucked
noodles.
out. Their line is always super long. And we just lucked out between
I
waves.
think it's Island Noodles.
It might be Island Noodles. And we got in a short line for them, and it was good. It's worth it.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, it's Georgia Street, and the way it works is the street itself, a few years ago, downtown Indianapolis, they redid several of the streets. This is one in particular where they made it so instead of it being 4 lanes across, there's now just 2 lanes for traffic and a center area for pedestrian traffic. And then they shut these streets down for festivals and whatnot. So for GenCon, one of the sides of the street has like the Hot Box Pizza. The last few years has seen the addition of Wild Bill's soda, which is excellent.
Very good soda.
You buy a metal mug, and you get a little tag, and you get you get free refills throughout the rest of the show. They charge you based on which day you buy it.
By the way, we're not sponsored by any of these.
Yes,
these are just this is what they love. This is what they found. And
places to get food that we really have liked in the past.
Yes,
that's not to say that we won't take a Wild Bill sponsorship though.
Yes, yes. Any of you happen to see all this, we'll be more than happy to mention you in every video from here till Kingdom Come. So, but whatever's going to happen is going to happen there. So, metal mugs, they're really awesome. I really should have splurged for the double-lined one, and I'm in fact going to order one, and hopefully it'll be here before the show.
What, double wall?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Money. Yeah.
And so, they got ice and chest, but it's not. It's Wild Bill's soda, but it's root beer of a couple different kinds, sarsaparilla, grape flavor, cherry flavor. There's a vanilla, I believe.
Yeah.
And a few others, and it's essentially you walk up, you show up, you got your little thing, get ice if you want it, get your drink, and that saves you from having to overpay for drinks at the other food trucks, because you're going to be paying like
$2 for
like $2 for a can of Coke.
Yeah. Or
plus
$1.50 for a bottle of water.
Yeah. Plus, depending on your particular sugar liquid addiction, this is better than Coke. So, probably not better for you. Not gonna lie about that. It's sugar water, but and also, if it means anything to you, it's a veteran-owned company. And then also on that side of the street is the noodle place, which again I believe is called Island Noodles, and they're really good. What kind of noodles are they, Joe? They're not. It's not spaghetti. It's an Asian noodle.
Ramen.
They make me think ramen noodles.
Rice noodles.
Is it ramen?
They're stir fry noodles
low
because they are stir fry.
Lo mein is what I was trying to think of. Thank you, Brett. They'll remind you of lo mein noodles. And as Chad said, the line is usually really long. We lucked out and it wasn't one year and tried it. It's really good.
And to be clear, they're saying where these food trucks or booths are. What they mean is that's where they have been, and they expect it to continue.
Yeah,
this
well,
way.
these three that I mentioned so far.
Hot Box Pizza and Island Noodles have always been there.
Yeah,
where I've gone.
that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah,
and
we
we have no.
Yeah, we don't know for sure that's where they will be again this year. But
Right.
in
Well,
the past, they've been these
right.
places, and that's because these three aren't really food trucks. These three are fixtures.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear that we
Hot
don't.
Box Pizza is just based in a restaurant down the street.
Yeah,
I've seen them.
I think
when
the
they-
Island Noodles is somewhere around there too.
Okay, but the point is,
Yes, Brad is correct in that.
it's
Yeah.
we don't have any
Yeah, we don't have
foreknowledge.
foreknowledge of.
We haven't seen a layout of where each one's going to be this year,
Right.
but this is where they have seen them in the past.
Right. So now down the other side of the street is where the food trucks will be, and then they also go a little bit down the street that runs in front of,
Yeah.
perpendicular to the convention center.
And then in past years, they've also had enough to where
Yeah.
they've been outside Lucas Oil
Yeah.
on that street between Lucas Oil and the convention center.
Yeah, and that one's the iffy one. A couple years they have, a couple years they haven't, and you don't know that if you take the tunnel over there because you don't go outside.
Yep.
So, but like I said, every year I tell myself, hey, I'm going to write down the name of these places that are really good, and I don't. And one year in particular, I really wish I did because Chris and I got these salmon tacos that were spectacular, and I have never seen that place there ever again. Or
And
if
he's
I have,
never shut up about it since.
or if I have, I didn't realize they were selling salmon tacos. So, for me personally, I'm a sucker for lobster rolls. So if a truck is selling those, I'm going to try it at least once. But they sell everything. You got your generic end, your burgers and dogs, which you're there the year.
Yes. There's just a truck selling hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yeah, it's literally like I don't think it was a regular food truck. I think it was just like a dad and his kids. They had like a couple grills.
That's
in the back
what
of
it
a
looked
truck.
like to me.
That just went to the store, bought some pre-made patties and dogs, and compared to the other trucks, like it was just like, all right, there's no line.
I can't complain. I've done that with chicken wraps at
When you're
Grateful
hungry
Dead shows.
and
Yeah.
everywhere else has a massive line that's not moving,
Yeah.
you're going to the place that's moving quickly.
Yes.
I got a hamburger and a hot dog.
It was,
And not only
It
if you're
was
hungry,
filling.
if you're on a,
it
if
was,
you're
it
on
was
a,
edible and it was cheap. So
And it was okay.
and it's not only if you're hungry, it's perhaps you have an event to get to,
yes,
and you don't have time to wait in a 35-minute island noodle line, and so Ricky and his sons with the hot dog grill over here is the way to go because you got to get back in to check out your how to build a dice bag workshop.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Me personally, like I said, sucker for the lobster rolls. Try to hit up anything even like remotely steak-ish related. So you tell me you've got like a ribeye sandwich or something, like you're on the list.
Speaking of steak, Bob, how about that Fogo?
Oh, we'll get to that here in a minute. That's its own little.
Yes, that's its own little thing.
Okay, well that was a hint. My butt hurts.
Yeah. So. So there's a great variety. Like I said, everything you can imagine.
I like trying to find the unusual stuff, you could say. Stuff you're not going to see in Indiana all the time.
Yeah, I believe there's a truck in particular that you're a big
Chef
fan of.
Dan's, yes,
Yeah.
because they do have an alligator po' boy. Where else around here can you get alligator at?
I've told you where you can.
Snaps in the very town that you live in.
What?
Snaps has alligator bites.
That's...
Well, there's also
a place in Evansville,
there's
yes.
a place in Evansville. I can never remember the name. I call it Gator Jim's, but I know that's not the name. I'll find out. I'll tell you the real name later. But anyway, there are places in Indiana that do sell it. So,
But not many.
admittedly, not many. You got me there.
The one right in the center of the town where you live.
We'll go there sometime.
I don't eat out a whole
We'll go
lot.
there sometime.
That's fair.
The point being, a lot of variety, and it changes over.
There's ice cream trucks, pizza trucks, barbecue trucks.
And I also, like I mentioned, there's the mall food court. It's the kind of food you expect to find in a mall food court. I don't know what else to tell you, but you're going to spend only like $8 or so for a meal versus averaging more like 12 to 15 at the food trucks.
Yeah.
So that's been years past. God only knows what it is right now. It'll probably be like $25 for a can of Coke by the time we go up there.
And it is a little bit of a convenience thing as well. The mall is a couple blocks away, even if you stay inside during the whole walk. It is all the way over there,
Yes.
as opposed to the food trucks being right out there. And if you are in a time crunch, then there's that.
Yes. So before I get to the pinnacle of all this, I realize I also forgot to mention that there are food places inside the convention center. In my personal opinion, therefore, if you are desperate for time, not for money, because you're going to be spending like $6 on a hot dog, and it will not taste like a $6 hot dog. It's going to taste like $1 hot dog. So, but there
Great,
are
Bob.
but there are
Way to alienate the GenCon people.
but there are places like that.
Awesome.
Spread all around. They'll be like, well, some will have pizza. They'll all have energy drinks, soft drinks.
I bet Monster and Red Bull make a killing there.
Probably, yeah. Like we've partaken in the Monster there before.
Yes, that was we need energy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people's playing them games
Right,
for
right.
18 hours a day. Some of them probably
Yeah.
sleeping for 4, not bothering to bathe. Give me a Monster.
So there's one little holdout that only serves on it's either Friday or Saturday for lunch. You have to buy it in advance. You have to know about it in advance to buy it in advance. And that is sliders from Ruth's Chris. And the only time I ever bought them, this was based on advice from people online.
And Ruth's Chris, by the way, is one of the high-end steak
Yes,
outlets he was talking
very
about.
very
earlier.
expensive high-end
It's
steakhouse.
not just in Indianapolis, but there is one in Indianapolis.
Yeah. So, based on advice from people online, which don't take this to be that you shouldn't listen to people online, because I prefer you do listen to us and we're online. So, you know.
Yeah, but we're cool. That's different.
That's an excellent point, Greg. I had heard that there's there's really good sliders. You get 2 of them and a bag of potato chips for $10. So another friend of mine who I believe has only managed to go 1 year, Ryan, he and I got these, and we got them. Had to pay for the Coke separate. They had a cooler with cans of Coke. And we picked them up right in front of the building. We had to give them our names because we had to buy them a couple weeks in advance and everything, like I mentioned. And they only make so many and they sell out. So then we go back to the parking garage because it was between us and the convention center just to sit in the car and have some place to eat. Because we just, like I said, picked them up out in front of the restaurant. And we open these up, and the burgers, the sliders, are only about this big around and only about this thick. And my friend's
So initially,
reaction-
your thought is $10.
yes, my friend's reaction was priceless, and I cannot repeat it because I don't know what YouTube actually allows in terms of language, but I think it's all on there. But
And we're not monetized yet, but they would definitely demonetize.
yes. If this video ever got monetized, it'd be demonetized based on this reaction. But let's just say it was extreme and explicit.
Like
So-
that, burn it.
Yes. So then we ate them, and I don't know if it's worth $10, but I'm going to tell you folks here and now, best burger ever had, period, like end of sentence.
That's a bold statement, Bob.
It is.
I mean, I know that you will understand based on my profile compared to yours in silhouette, but I would assume that you've had a couple burgers in your life
I have.
from a couple different places,
I have.
all over the country,
This is true.
at high end and low end.
Yes.
And this is the best one,
Easily.
the $half burger.
The $half little slider thing. To the point that I was like, why does this place not sell full-sized burgers? Yes, they would be expensive. But
You buy a $20 burger?
it was one of those like I wanted more, but I realized that to get more, I had to wait till the next year buy more than one order for myself because it was not satisfying in terms of its size, but in terms of taste. Like, you could tell high-end steak went into the ground beef for this.
And now we know why Bob is only dungeon crawling one time this year.
No, I had the order format popped up for me. If they're still doing it. The only burger that came close was the burger at Burger Study, which unfortunately has closed. And I believe that's because, unless I'm mistaken, the Burger Study was an offshoot of Ruth's Chris. If it wasn't Ruth's Chris, it's one of the other high-end steakhouses downtown, but I believe it was Ruth's Chris. And that's where I saw a friend of mine order a $30 hamburger, but it had foie gras on it, so,
Yes.
you know.
He
Isn't
also
that duck liver?
It is.
it's fatty duck liver.
Yes. And I will make another bold statement, which, unfortunately, the vegetarians out there among you are going to hate me for this. I'm sorry.
It was delicious.
Foie gras, not that foie gras. I actually had foie gras at another restaurant one time. I understand why that is considered a delicacy.
Okay, well, sure. Okay, I get that.
Like,
but-
I mean, in terms of flavor and taste.
No, I understand.
Like I was sitting there. It was, I believe, the main chunk was duck, and then there were the little foie gras pieces, which they're only about like this big. They're very tiny.
Okay.
Okay, so I was with my parents. My mom was like, "Hey, can I try that?" I assumed she meant the foie gras because, I mean, you know, duck's not super common, but it's
Right.
common enough. So I gave her that, and she's like, "Oh, what's that?" I go, "That's the foie gras. That was the expensive part. That's the reason why this dish was like $40." I was like, "This is like a leg from a duck. That's not a $40 dish." And she's like, "Oh, I meant the duck." And I was like, "I got like 4 of those things. I just wasted one of them on you. Like, clearly, like, ugh." So yes, like eating those, like each one of those was like I can't describe the level of flavor that was packed into that. And it was just,
And for our vegetarian friends, we like broccoli too.
yeah, vegetables are fine too. And just, you know,
Chad apparently doesn't like broccoli.
just, you know,
Broccoli has to be drowned in cheese sauce
Like-
before it's good to me.
like, I don't know what your opinion is going to be of this statement, but you know, things with a face taste better. Like, it is what it is. So, you know, yeah, vegetables are okay, but you know, gotta have the meat in there
Steak
too.
is better.
Yes.
I ain't mad at you vegetarians. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not mad at you. You know,
I like bacon, but
You've made a choice and you're sticking with it.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna judge you. You know,
I have family members who are vegan,
you know.
and they're wonderful people, and they make their own peanut butter and do all the things vegan, and that's wonderful for them. And I even like their food when I go there, but when I leave there, I'm gonna have a bacon sandwich. Just saying.
How does the bacon last long enough to get on a sandwich, though?
Oh, well, I mean, the sandwich is, it's a sandwich because there's 2 pieces of Wonder Bread. But, I mean,
I was wondering if it's gonna be like the KFC chicken sandwich they had for a while. It was just the 2 pieces of chicken with the cheese in the middle.
it's first of all, genius. I mean, that's no carb, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but regardless, but really, my butter.
Yeah. So anyway, so those are your other choices, but the pinnacle of our food part of the expedition
You gotta walk about 3 blocks.
is a few blocks away. It's past the mall, and it is a Brazilian steakhouse known as Fogo de Chão, I believe is how you're supposed to pronounce it, but it looks like it's Chow, but I believe it's pronounced Show or something to that effect.
Shun, I think.
But I don't speak Portuguese, so
It's like
But-
Vietnamese noodles being
We call it Fogo de Chao because when you go in there, you're going to be chowing down.
yes, it is.
Which obviously makes us happy.
Yes, it is like I said, it is a Brazilian steakhouse.
For your vegetarians out there.
Yeah.
They
They
do
bring the
have
meat right to your table.
meat-free stuff at their buffet.
Yes, there is a salad bar. I only go to it because there's smoked salmon on it, which is delicious.
I usually go
And
for
if you go
cheeses.
there before noon, or at least during the morning-ish part, you can also partake of the omelet bar that they have if you go for brunch. But the main attraction, they do have an actual menu, but what most people go there for is what they call the full Terrazzo experience, which is you pay a flat rate, which I believe is $50, and you get all the meat you can eat. They will come to your table with large shanks of meat that have been cooked to different temperatures. They'll ask you, they'll tell you what they have. You're like, oh, we have leg of lamb, or top sirloin,
Parmesan crusted
Parmesan
chicken. That is delicious there.
Yeah, Parmesan crusted pork. It's just a whole galaxy of meats.
Korean barbecue goat.
It's Brazilian style.
Yeah.
And so then you'll tell them, you'll have a little thing at the table that's like red on one side, green on the other. Stop and go, and that's how they can spot at a distance. Hey, they still want meat. Go to them. So you do that. So they show up and like, hey, here's what we got. Do you want it? Yeah, sure, I'll take some. And they'll whip out a giant steak knife and slice some off. You'll grab it with your little tongs and put it on your plate, and then you eat that and you wait for the next thing to come by, and it is just
Delicious.
It's delicious. It is just like nothing but gorging yourself on various cuts of meat. You can indulge in the salad bar if you really feel like it, but that's less room for the meat.
Yeah,
so,
and despite my earlier words about bacon, this is the part where vegetarians get to have me as their favorite in this group, because I'm not going to Fogo.
they have candied bacon.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
They also
I'm not protesting.
at your table put fried bananas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
you do have the other
two
foods.
types of polenta.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But
No,
if
just one type.
I'm spending $50 on all you can eat meat, I'm probably not eating any polenta. But
You should. It is good.
well, yeah, I'm sure it is. But $50 for all you can eat meat, I'm not eating a salad. I'll eat a salad the next meal.
You
Love
eat
salad.
a little bit of salad beforehand before you can eat more meat.
I don't know if that. Anyway, I'm not going because there is a seminar that I don't want to miss at that time that they're going, based on when they can go because of all the other activities they have planned. So I'm not going to miss that seminar that I want to go to. So I'm just fogoed out on this one. I'm just bug out of luck.
So, and to be clear, for those of you watching this that have jumped on, have already been like, hey, I'm going to get some GenCon tickets, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And they're like, oh yeah, I should go to Fogo. You need to plan for at least 2 hours.
Yep.
Because it takes a while to get there if you walk. And if you don't walk, it's probably going to take you a minute to get an Uber or taxi or whatever.
Is this also we should make reservations kind of thing?
This is very much a you should make reservations
Yes.
kind of thing. You should do that even if it's not, even if you happen to just live in Indianapolis and you're just like, hey, I want to go to Fogo sometime, make reservations. It is usually packed.
Oh yeah. Especially around GenCon.
Well, yeah. I mean, there actually is a Facebook group of people that meet up apparently Wednesday night beforehand. So, and we thought that 2 times in the span of 3 or 4 days is probably too much. So that's why we haven't gone with them. Maybe next year.
Maybe.
Start the convention off by gorging ourselves instead of going on Saturday. So.
And then go on Saturday, you mean?
I don't want to have a heart attack.
So what they're saying is they aspire to meet sweats.
Yes.
Yeah. I have never personally. None of us have partaken in the omelet bar before. So.
Oh, why would you? You get eggs at Denny's.
Yeah, but I don't get up in time for breakfast most days. So, I miss eating eggs. And I know the easiest solution is get up, but that's hard.
It is.
You call me tomorrow, Bob. I'll come over and I'll fry you an egg sandwich. You go to Fogo. Don't eat the omelets. That's just dumb.
Well, we're not going early enough for that. Are we?
No, it'll be on Saturday. It'll be brunch.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, yeah. I mean, maybe we'll see about trying the omelet.
I'm definitely getting some candied bacon.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to happen.
And hopefully they have that dessert one they carry around every now and then. Just like grilled mozzarella cheese that they drizzle honey on. That is delicious.
You and Chris are wild about that. I'm not a huge cheese guy, so. But the way they react, it must be fantastic. So.
Okay, so that's Fogo.
Yeah. So that's.
And there are the other. I mean, in addition to Fogo and Ruth's Chris and other
there's a whole galaxy of other places to eat.
Right.
That's the core. Like, if you're going, try to hit these.
There's
Every
bars
hotel
that'll have your
bar and
generic
restaurant.
pub food. There's your normal restaurants. There's There's even a Primanti Brothers I saw last time I was there, which Primanti Brothers is a, if you've ever been to Pittsburgh, it started out in Pittsburgh, just one mom and pop store, and they've now franchised out. Apparently, I didn't know that, but there's all kinds of stuff right around downtown there for you to eat.
Yeah, so slight side note on the bar thing. I don't know which ones do this anymore because some have come and gone, but a number of the places downtown, I don't know how what it's like in a lot of other cities, except for Atlanta, which I hear is like the polar opposite of what I'm about to say for Dragon Con in Atlanta. Indianapolis is very, very welcoming of the GenCon folks, or any other convention for that matter. But like for GenCon, like there are billboards out on 465 and 70 coming into downtown. There's stuff out at the airport, from what I'm told. I don't fly in Indianapolis, because that'd be ridiculous. But from what people do fly and tell me, there's stuff down there. There's stuff coming into downtown. Restaurants in the area that picked up on it. They will do like GenCon menus. Now, I mean, it's stuff they normally have, probably just GenCon names, but the point is they put the effort out. You know, they want you to feel welcome.
And it's not just GenCon, it's anything, it's everything.
Yeah.
The NCAA, National College Athletic Association, National Collegiate Athletic Association, they're headquartered in Indianapolis. The NFL football scouting combine has been there forever, although their lease did run up this year. Their contract did run out this year. They did extend it for 2 more years, but they're trying to get it in like Vegas or LA or Dallas or something. But Indianapolis is built for these things. They have specifically gone out of their way to cater the downtown area to large events.
Yes.
and groups of people. Crossroads of America, the whole bit, centrally located. Indianapolis as a city, their raison d'etre is to host conventions and the like.
Yes.
So you will not find a better place to more welcoming people of, and a town that is eager for you to come there and spend your money than Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah.
And maybe Vegas, but that's a whole different thing.
I've been to a convention in Vegas for one of my former job. Very welcoming, but it's an entirely different
entirely.
feel.
I didn't even mean that. I just meant where Vegas is a city that is entirely designed about you coming there and leaving your money.
Yeah. Side note, as Brad said, Vegas is built entirely on tourism, so the whole city, you know, they don't need to worry about rolling out the welcome mat for you and your show, because everyone that's there is from somewhere else. So they don't go out of their way, and the convention center is actually kind of far from all the fun stuff.
It is. It's nowhere near the Strip.
And so it's just kind of out there. I think the Las Vegas Hilton is what's right next to it. Which
and in downtown Indianapolis, literally everything is within walking distance.
Yeah.
And you can do 98% of that without ever walking outside if the weather's nice.
Yeah. I'll tell you the biggest contrast I noticed between the two shows. Well, first, like I said, the dealer's hall is the main area. Even though there was a couple little things that sell food and drinks, like they want you people like right there.
Yeah.
They're not down for drinks. The convention center doesn't have anywhere selling alcohol inside the convention center. Out on Georgia Street, the Sun King Brewery does. That's basically it, and they have an area where you're supposed to stay and drink.
That's a local Indianapolis brewery.
Yes.
Indianapolis brewery.
Yes,
by the way.
and every year they do an online poll for a flavor they're going to have specifically for GenCon, and there's a whole deal behind it. Whereas in Las Vegas, like, there were cocktail waitresses walking around inside the show.
Well, they want you to be drunk. You're better to part your money.
Yeah. For those of you who've never been to Vegas, it's like a world unto itself. Like, things that just are crazy and insane and just don't make any sense at all in the regular world. Like the aforementioned cocktail waitresses. I mean, I went to eat breakfast somewhere at 9 o'clock in the morning. The bar was open. The cocktail waitresses were walking around. There were slot machines in the front of the restaurant. I mean, it's insanity. It all makes sense there, but elsewhere, no. Now you look at that, and it's like fantasy.
Okay, excuse me. Sorry about this, folks.
So
It's about time.
I think that's basically
cut off anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we've still got hopes and dreams.
I need to get going.
Well, we need to hurry.
Or we stop and do hopes and dreams on a separate video.
Okay, deal.
Well, I mean, it's up to you.
Because that's covering like events we're wanting to go to,
Yeah.
what we're hoping to see in Dealers Hall, and all that stuff. Which there's 3 of us.
Okay, I can do mine, but wait a minute.
I can't.
I'll learn to condense, Chad.
Nope. Give us an outro.
Oh, okay. Well. All right, so might have to do the other part of this sometime later, but that will make sense because it's going to be more of a building up to us going to GenCon video anyway. Probably would make sense to do it there.
The final thing we were going to talk about was it's labeled as hopes and dreams on our outline, but what it is the different events and seminars and et cetera that we are individually specifically interested in there.
Yes, and possibly why we're interested in it,
Yeah.
why we're excited for it, and all that.
So hopefully we'll get that down. If not, it'll be post GenCon where we talk about what we did do instead. So
And
one
why
way-
we did it, and
Yes. So one way or the other. So thank you for watching. If you stuck with it this long, and if not, well, thanks for trying. We appreciate the effort
yes, thank you for trying.
because it definitely just a lot of rambling in there.
If
So
you
That's what
watch
the
our
people
other
love, Bob.
videos,
That's what
that's
people
what we
love.
are.
that's what I hear. I hear everyone wants authentic experience, and it doesn't get much more authentic than this. So.
Nope.
Well, I just absolutely refuse to do it any other way. I got to be me, Bob.
Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way, Brad.
Excellent. Love yous. Remember the
So-
golden rule.
Yep. So everyone, take care of yourselves, and hopefully tune in next time.
Hopefully that'll be soon.